Hi guys, my name is Francisco Hernandez and today I will be presenting the role object pattern that I chose earlier this semester. For this project, I created a university management system demo in C++ that demonstrates how objects can dynamically take on different roles at runtimes. So what are design patterns? Design patterns are reusable solutions to common software design problems. They provide proven ways to structure code for flexibility and maintainability. Patterns also help developers avoid reinventing solutions to problems that have already been solved. So instead of a developer always having to create a solution to problems they face, it's good to go on proven methods that have proof that they have worked in the past and use things like that. That way they're not reinventing the wheel. Here are some example patterns. Some common examples of design patterns include singleton, factory, observer, strategy, and then the one I chose, which is role object pattern. So the problem that this pattern solves is the main problem is that sometimes a single object must perform multiple responsibilities. For example, in a university system, one person might be a student, a tutor, and also a club member at the same time. If we try to solve this using inheritance, we could need many different combinations of classes such as student tutor, student club member, and so on. This quickly becomes complex, difficult to maintain, and not scalable, especially if there's a bunch of different types of classes and like types of roles. Role object pattern intent. The role object pattern solves this by allowing objects to dynamically acquire and remove roles at runtime. It also allows an object to support multiple roles simultaneously. Instead of using inheritance, roles are attached to objects dynamically, which makes the system more flexible. So here's the pattern structure. This is like a generic UML diagram that kind of shows how the classes on the bottom, duck, fish, and zebra, um, are kind of inheriting from animal, and animal can get the role of either one without having to be all of them. My implementation overview. In my implementation, I created a person class that can dynamically take on roles such as student role, tutor role, and club member role. These roles can be added, removed, and executed during runtime. This demonstrates how the system can change behavior dynamically, and I'll show you that once we get to the code. Here's my UML class diagram. This UML diagram shows the structure of my implementation. The role class is a abstract class that defines common behavior. The student role, tutor role, and club member role inherit from role and implement specific behaviors, and the person class stores a collection of role objects. This allows one person to have multiple roles at the same time. So when we get to the code, you'll see that I'm gonna make a student, and then the student is gonna be able to be more than just a student. They could also be a tutor, a club member, and then if they're not a tutor anymore, I'm gonna show you how the roles can be added and removed. So just some code structure. In the code, the role class defines two main functions, get role name and perform duty. Each concrete role implements these functions differently to represent its specific behavior. The person class manages the roles using functions like add role, remove role, show roles, and perform all duties. The structure allows roles to be dynamically assigned and removed. So here's some advantages. Um, the role object pattern has several advantages. It allows multiple roles per object and supports runtime role assignment. It also avoids complex inheritance. hierarchies and improves flexibility and accessibility. Additionally, it encourages separation of responsibilities. I want to move into the code since we have the previous slides fresh in our mind. So that's what I'm gonna do. So right here, this is my code, and I'm gonna show you kind of, let me see how to do this. Okay, sweet. Clicked it earlier, but I don't know why it wasn't working. Okay, so show current rows. So Francisco Hernandez, that's a person that I made, which is me. So for example, in this system, let's say I register, um, I need to be a student. So I'll do two student assigned to Francisco Hernandez. Let's say I get really good and I can become a tutor. So we can add that role. So it says that I added the role to Francisco Hernandez. So just to show that they're both added to me. So going back to the UML class, you can see that my person has has grabbed from the student and the tutor class. And then, for example, if you want to remove these roles, so I'm going to remove the tutor role. There's that, tells that. And then you can see right here, I removed it and now I'm just a student. So that's just an example. This can be done, managed with a bunch more other students. That's just using me. All right. And continuing on. So the disadvantages of the role object pattern is one advantage is that it increases the number of classes in the system. It can also make relationships more complex and harder to understand for beginners, and managing multiple role objects requires careful design. Oops. Some real-world applications, examples where this pattern is useful, university management systems, like what I did, game character systems, banking systems, enterprise permission systems, and user role management systems. So to conclude this, in conclusion, the role object pattern allows objects to dynamically change behavior by assigning roles at runtime. It avoids rigid inheritance structures and supports flexible role management. Overall, it improves system extensibility and maintainability. And I want to take some time to say thank you for listening to my presentation and have a good day.